1954. The tapes kept playing, recording the silence left behind. The university archive kept its reels below street level, a climate-steady vault with a door that closed like a safe. On the morning of February 9th, the custodian, Antonina Fee, unlocked the gate to begin the quarterly tally. She pulled the light cord and saw absence arranged on every shelf. Rows of numbered cores without tape, labels present, contents gone. The floor bore only thin arcs of dust where each reel had once touched metal. The threshold showed no scuffing, the lock no tool marks, the window bricks their careful mortar. She set her ledger on the bench and listened. The room contained a sound, an even hiss, the noise of an empty frequency. It did not come from the deck on the table. Its switch lay it off. She followed the sound to a monitoring loudspeaker that hung dust-furred and unplugged. Even dead, it breathed. The hiss rose and fell politely, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, as if keeping step with someone. When she held her breath, the rhythm delayed, then followed again, like a courteous companion who refuses to walk ahead. Security arrived with a portable set and an engineer in a mended wool coat. He checked the mains, quiet, then tapped the speaker's grill with a pencil. In the small silence that followed, a word condensed from the noise, sibilant and tentative. Antonina. The pencil rolled and struck the floor with a click too loud for so small a room. She signed the incident book with a shaking hand. Above the signature, a new line typed itself in ribbon no one had loaded. Vault check complete. Reels absent. Audio present. The engineer smiled and proposed a full shutdown. They cut the breakers to the corridor. The light died. The hiss did not. By noon, the dean sealed the vault and posted a notice about mold remediation. Students craned from the stairhead to listen. The sound reached them through stone, patient as breathing, as though the reels had chosen to remain by subtracting themselves, leaving only the hush that remembered where they were. By evening, a replacement machine was wheeled in, factory fresh, heads still lacquered, sockets capped with red rubber. The technician, Garin, swore nothing could print onto brand new stock without bias and input. To prove it, he unspooled a virgin length, laced the path, and set the transport to idle. The reels turned with the uncommitted ease of a bicycle wheel raised off the ground. No microphone was attached. The VU needles slept. The hiss gathered anyway, like mist learning a room. At 1913, the needles lifted a millimeter, then 2. Garin froze. The take-up reel weighed slightly more than a minute prior. The motor labored half a tone deeper. He stopped the machine, rewound, and the tape returned, carrying a line as thin as hair but as confident as a stamp. File 1 complete. He checked the back door for pranksters. The corridor was empty. In the logbook he wrote contamination and underlined it twice. They tried isolation. The machine ran inside a Faraday cage cobbled from shelving and copper mesh. The hiss declined to a whisper, then rebuilt itself grain by grain, a dune in reverse. Spectra showed nothing but broadband. Overlapped with hiss from other rooms, subtle beats appeared. Slow, like heart murmurs answering each other across a wall. Garin sat, headphones off, and realized the beat aligned to his pulse when he held his breath and counted. The dean ordered all loudspeakers removed. Night porters stacked them in the auditorium, cords coiled like sleeping snakes. At midnight, the auditorium spoke through 100 mouths at once. Hiss braided into a soft, collective sibilant that rose and fell in 13-second tides. The caretaker marked each crest in pencil on the proscenium, a pale rosary of ticks. On the 14th crest, the sound shaped his given name. The pencil fell. The auditorium listened. Archivist Ludmila Koroleva refused the comfort of superstition. "Noise remembers context," she said, "and if you listened long enough, you could hear the room it came from." She set a recorder to capture ambient hiss inside the sealed vault. No tape loaded, just heads, to learn whether absence alone could be persuaded to speak. She locked the door, pocketed the key, and went to the reading room to wait. At dawn, the vault remained locked, the wax on the seal unbroken. Yet from the recorder on her desk came the gentle clatter of capstan and pinch roller. The transport was moving itself, slowly, like a patient dreaming of stairs. Headphones on, she heard her own chair scrape. Her breath arrived before she drew it, and her voice, firm, professional, made thin by the enclosure. "Say, this is Koroleva." "I am listening from inside," colleagues gathered. They checked the room for a hidden mic. They checked her pockets for a second key. "Playback of a plan," someone muttered. "Desire on tape." Ludmila set the phones on the desk so all could hear the remainder. Accounting layered beneath her words, 12 voices at different depths, saying numbers in order and then together. 1, 2, 3, up to 12, and at 12, a pause like the turn of a reel hub. Security broke the vault seal at 10. Inside, empty shelving, dust-drawn circles where reels had sat, and on the middle shelf, a single cold indentation the size of a palm, as if someone had leaned there to listen better. The air tasted of iron. The recorder on the desk continued its gentle run, a runner who has forgotten the finish. That afternoon, Ludmila's office door would not open. The key turned, but the latch refused. When they forced it with a pry bar hours later, the lamp was warm. The headphones looped over the back of her chair like a set-aside embrace. The cushion held the shape of her absence perfectly. Oxide scraped from the empty hubs revealed its own obedience. Under the student microscope, the brown dust lined up in hair-fine rows that rippled when a breath crossed the slide. A physics lecturer brought a pocket magnet and watched the particles quiver into dunes, their ridges traveling as if a wind were inside the glass. He hummed a steady A. The ridges nodded, consenting to the pitch. Someone joked about teaching the residue to speak. The residue obliged. Condensation filmed the inside of the sample jar and wrote, very slowly, 4 letters with the patience of frost on a pane. H-I-S-S. The lab laughed, then fell quiet when the letters refilled after a wipe with clean gauze. When the jar was sealed, the letters formed on the outside glass instead, reversed, legible from within. Facilities cut power to the wing and grounded the bus bars. The thermostats ticked in the new cold, and still the outlets whispered like seashells. On a whim, Garen pressed an oscilloscope probe to the brass hinge of the archive door. The trace jittered, sorted itself, and began pacing in neat little stairs of voltage that matched the 12 count from the recording. Plateau, climb, plateau, climb. A staircase descending into quiet. By April, the building was emptied. Notices cited mold remediation and electrical harmonics. a phrase that satisfied no one. The hiss moved into corridors and stairwell mouths. Visitors said they felt accompanied by a careful, unhurried breathing that insisted on keeping pace. At night, the wind in the courtyard matched it, piling snow into perfect coils against the iron fence. 12 curls laid side by side like the cross-section of invisible reels. In the vacant reading room, the card catalogue shuffled itself a millimeter nearer to the letter K, where Koroleva had once filed her own name with librarian exactness. The drawer stayed there, politely misshelved, as if waiting to be corrected by the person who could not return. The first outside confirmation arrived hidden in a travel grant. A visiting fellow from the BBC, surname Hargreaves, came to record Soviet room tones for a features library. He was given an empty seminar room and a pot of tea. Before he pressed record, his machine's take-up reel tugged, as if a thumb had given it a nudge. The VU needles rose without input. He swore, checked the cable, and heard on his headphones a dry coastal hush that did not belong to inland Leningrad. He let the tape run while he read his notes. The hush advanced into quiet syllables in a Russian accent, careful and administrative. "We are still cataloging." He marked the time. Later, on the train, he rewound for curiosity and found the same sentence now accompanied by a description of the very carriage seat he occupied, including a stain no microphone could see. In Helsinki, his hotel lamp buzzed on the same 13-second tide. The recorder, stowed in a wardrobe, turned the empty reel by itself and added weight to its core. At night, he dreamed the measured breath of an auditorium full of speakers. In the morning, he saw oxide under his fingernails, though he had not handled tape. Back in London, he sought to erase the thing by satisfying it. He spoke into the machine for an hour, listing towns from an atlas, naming sea areas, reading a lullaby. The playback wrote over his voice with the old classroom hush and, faint beneath it, a whisper of 12 numbers counting down instead of up. When he razored the tape into 100 scraps and dropped them in a bin, the bin sighed. Neighbors complained of a sibilant leak through the party wall, as though a radio were left on between stations. The electricity board tested his meter and found it still. The sound traveled on the wiring without traveling in the wire. Hargreaves moved house within the month and left the recorder on the curb. The curb sounded like wind for a week. Seven years later, a military depot clerk logged a crate sealed in waxed paper stamped with the university crest. Inside lay 12 reels labeled by hand, and a note, unsigned, that read simply, "Return." The depot chief lifted one reel to the light. The oxide looked mottled as if salted. They cued a deck, threaded carefully, and advanced at quarter speed. What came back was older than the hiss they expected. It was the hiss aged by storage, coarser like rain on a steel roof. Under it lay voices that stepped forward and back, never fully arriving, speaking catalog numbers without the titles they once anchored. Every voice ended with the same sentence, spoken in different throats. "We're filed where you listen." Copy attempts failed in every possible way. On to fresh stock. Silence. Through a mixer. Silence. Microphone against the speaker. The silence printed itself. When they rewound the original, the binder failed and the oxide came off in a skin. leaving a transparent plastic river on metal hubs that weighed suddenly nothing. The air filled with fine iron smell. Men sneezed rust. They swept the dust carefully into paper sacks and sent them to analysis. While the sacks sat in quarantine, the depot PA clicked on and stayed open, the mouth forgetting to close. The line carried nothing but the dense, featureless sound of a storm you can sense but not see. The floors hummed. The clerk wrote a brief note, continuing. That night, a soft bell chimed in the monitor booth every 13 seconds. Lenses fogged and cleared in time. On the counter, a damp ring appeared, then lifted, like weight set down and taken away. A single oval print remained in the dust, porous with iron, ridgeless, anonymous. The National Archive catalog now contains an object that is not an object. Echo Index 091-C. Its entry cannot be deleted, only described. Duration, infinity. Medium, unassigned. Location, where accessed. When a technician opens the record, the workstation speakers wake before the waveform draws, and a breath arrives that fits neatly over his own like tracing paper. Spectrograms of that breath show 12 dim bands, the ghost of reels nested within one another. At the 12-minute mark, the bands thin to a line, and there is a small, almost polite gap of nothing, the space a reel needs to take a turn. Then, one more inhalation, as if someone on the other end remembered the courtesy of saying they still were. A senior archivist typed, "Playback persists after program termination." The sentence saved itself, then reappeared inverted the next morning. Program terminates after playback. He tried to annotate the inversion. The system placed his note inside the original line like a comment whispered into a mouth already speaking. Visitors sometimes ask whether the hiss is a fault of the HVAC. The staff say nothing. In the headphone room, you can sit for as long as you like. The chairs breathe at your pace. The shelves, empty or not, emit a household quiet. If you stay through closing, the exit corridor exhales once, softly, and the stairwell answers a second later as if one building were comforting another. Unplugged headphones flex anyway, a thin pressure no meter registers. Cleaners note a salt smell at lockup and the sense of being counted softly to 12.